All right. Really hoping that doesn't fall. If it does, kind of fucked. It's fine though. Let me just solve that little glare issue on your guys' end. That's the mirror we used to use. Yeah. So I hear you. So I'm doing a bit of a different angle for today's video. It's been a while. Been probably what since no, baby, go please. It's been probably I think the last upload was like August. As you can see, haven't made a ton of progress, but it's not terrible either. It is what it is. Had to do a lot to rig this in a way, but it's fine. Um, with it being the intro to summer, here where I'm at, uh, have an air conditioner in the window now. Baby, don't start rubbing on shit. Come on. She's gonna knock things over and it's gonna ruin the video. um, yeah, but I got new backlighting. Um, just a little LED strip. I had to kind of put a little bit of a like medical tape on it to try to help lower the actual brightness on it. Because I originally got it for like proper downlighting. I couldn't get it set up in a way to make that work as well as I'd like it to. Um, nothing much has changed in this past month or so. I started doing like 2 hours of cardio at the end. I'm sure you can hear my fire alarm. Um, at the end of the workouts, baby, stop, please. Why do you always only want attention when I start recording a video? Come on. Um, but yeah. So I'm on a deload right now just because I was sick for a second there. Probably a good 2 week stint of diabetes related, of course. Um, I got sick and then that led to ketones and then a few days worth of just not being able to get the blood sugar down and all that. Um, I lost a lot of weight during that. I think I was sitting around 205 to 207, give or take. That's not full hydration, full belly, etc. Um, that was just morning weight. So as of the moment, I'm sitting around 194 ish. That's after food, hydration, gym, all that. So now I'm on 2 days a week. Um, pretty much the same stuff as normal. I'll lay out my actual workout. Um, so I get to the gym. I still prefer getting there like around midnight to about 2. Sorry. Um, and then I start my workout with chest. What I do is I warm up on the machine, you know. And I only do like 110 for my first 4 sets. They're all warm ups, 12 reps each, wait about minute and a half. Then I go after those 4 sets on the machine, machine chest press. I go on to the dumbbell incline. Um, not sure if you guys are familiar with the exact bench type, but I set that at a 3, which is a pretty good angle. It's probably about like that, give or take a little bit. Um, go on, baby. Um, found that's definitely helped. Um, so I start with 2 to 3 sets of 75 pounds, um, 75-pound dumbbell per arm. Um, and then I try to get about 12 reps per set. Do that for 2 to 3 sets. Then I move down 5 pounds. Same concept until I get a total of 6 to 7, depending on how easy the the sets are feeling. Right. Um, if it feels like I have another set, I'll do another set. Um, yeah. So then directly after that, I re up my water because by then I'm typically out. Um, then I go over and I hit lat pull down with the um, this type grip, which is over, right? Then I do roughly 7 to 8 sets on that. I start with the 215 pounds, do that for about 2 sets, drop by 5 every 2 sets after that. Um, then while I'm doing those, I do single arm tricep push down, cross body. I put a grip on the link, right? Then I push my body out, try to get as much stretch on the up as possible, then come down with it and kind of like twist a little bit. I don't know. It's just where I've gained the most muscular fatigue, right? I get the most activation on that. Definitely helps switching to single arm versus doing the double arm easy bar. The easy bar, I was doing like 80 or 90 pounds, and it just wasn't really getting me a good pump. It would just make my elbows hurt at that point. So the single arm, I only do like 30 pounds. Then I move down 5 pounds. I never go down past 20 pounds on that just because I still get good stimuli from it. So after that, I used to go on to do pec flies, but my pecs started feeling a little rough on those. So I'm like, fine, it's fine. We'll stop those. Um, so then I started implementing legs. So I've slowly gained more strength on my legs over the past probably month or two since I've started doing legs again. Um, might have been more time. We're just going to call it a month and a half, 2 months. Um, I just do the leg ups. You know what I'm saying? Uh, whatever those are called, seated leg curls, leg races, whatever you call them. So I do those. I've been pretty inconsistent with the weight just because they're getting back into the motion. I'm moving up in weight fairly quickly, just as my body gets used to using the legs like that again. Um, and then I do the seated leg press. Um, Now, the seated leg press, I like to do multiple different variations throughout the working sets as far as like where I place my legs on the platform. Um, it helps work different portions. And of course, as most people who do legs would probably understand, um, what was I thinking? Yeah. Pre-gassing the quads typically makes it to where they don't do as much work in the actual, like they don't overpower the rest of the leg when you're doing them, when you're actually doing the leg presses. So I found that it's always better to pre-gas the quads and then go on to the actual leg presses. I found that it helps activate more of the leg, more of the other areas that I'm not necessarily training otherwise. Um, I don't have a lot of shoulder mobility, like as far as actually getting it back past, get a lot of tension in the front delt, in the pec, right through there. Um, when I'm actually trying to push my arms back, so I haven't really found a way to do proper squats as of yet. Um, I've considered looking at attachments for bars to where you can get the front. I'm sure you probably understand what I'm talking about. Um, but one of those adapters for the bars where I can just start doing those more. My knees are still a bit of an issue. They're not the best as a good portion of the people out there lifting know and probably agree, right? Knees can be a hard portion. Um, but we're still doing the leg workouts and all of that. So I do the legs, those two combined probably take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. Um, then after I finish up with the legs, just those two individual workouts there, I go and do my forearm curls. Um, I'm not necessarily to the point where I can't do the double arms effectively yet. Um, Essentially, the way our set is worked out is it goes up to 100 pounds. I start with 100 pounds for the first 2 or 3 sets. I do 20 individual like forearm curls per set, probably about 2, maybe 3 sets on 100. Then I move down by 5 pounds. And then once I move down by 5 pounds, the last 5 reps each set is typically very close to failure. Um, like my muscles are actively burning at that point, trying to quit on me. I can't actually complete a full rep on that. So I don't think we're to the point of reworking that because I'm assuming the next format of that is probably going to have to start switching to single arm forearm curls and finding a variation in single arm forearm curls that we can actively still get a good pump and good workout in. Um, it's going to be more time consuming, which I'm fine with. A lot of people, they don't really like being in the gym for some reason. They don't like spending their time there, and for me, I thoroughly enjoy being in the gym. Um, that is where I spend most of my time throughout the week. That and then sleeping at home, recovering. Now, during the deload, for example, I'm spending a little more time in the gym per day, um, just with like warm up sets, making sure everything's functioning properly. Um, then, of course, so I go in Tuesday morning and I do probably about 8 or 9 hours. That's with the 2 hours of cardio at the very end included. And then I go in Thursday morning. So I spend all of Wednesday, which is today, of course, just resting. Um, Whether that be sleep, laying in bed, watching YouTube, whatever may have you. Um, so, yeah, essentially after the forearms, we hit the bike for about an hour. I don't do heavy intensity, I do low to moderate. I just run that for about an hour, then I go rest because at that point, typically the groin is feeling pretty battered. Um, but it's the best for knee integrity, for example, because walking for that same amount of time would pretty much batter the joints, as far as I've found. Um, yes, then I go rest, get some water, chillax a little bit, let the groin, recover a bit. Then I hop back on, put the video back on, and then run another 45 minutes to about an hour. Um, then at that point, I go home, I eat, sleep, whatever may have you. Um, I'm not very satisfied with my job at the moment. It's not great. They're not really like. Don't get me wrong. It's a okay job for you know industry, but it's really gone downhill in the past probably 3 or 4 years. Um, that's unrelated to the video. I'm just here because I haven't put anything out since August, and my whole point of uploading these was to make a digital archive of my progress and to where I can go back and see and compare myself with my prior states of being. I apologize for the fucking hallway cricket. I don't know which one it is, and I haven't been worried enough about it to actually go up and change the batteries. At this point, the house burns down. It happens. Yeah, like it'll be fine. You know. Um, but yeah, all in all, I'm doing okay. My Some of my doctors or some of the medical crew, right, that keeps me alive. They've considered something called the Omnipod. I think it's the Omnipod 5. It's essentially similar to a, um, what's it called? An insulin pump. It's just a little different. There's no like tubing that goes from like a little box. It's like a disposable unit that you strap on, just like the Dexcom. Um, Now, obviously, I'm not short on fat supplies, but I'm still considered concerned about how deep the needle will go. We haven't started yet. They put me on a different type of insulin because my current insulin doesn't come in vial form, I believe. So I use the flex pens that you just put a needle on, take it off, inject it, right? You take the needle off and dispose of it. Um, and I've noticed that it works better than the insulin Lispro that they're needing to use for the Omni. It works faster, more effective. I'm have the high blood sugar for less time. It brings me down faster, which has its potential for um, negative side effects. Of course, the hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, but I've found that it's better because I'm high less of the time and I don't have the negative side effects of high blood sugar for a good portion of the actual active time. But trying to get my A1C down, my insulin resistance is high. I'm on a For any of you out there that are familiar with diabetes, I'm on a 1 to 3.5 ratio. We've moved it up to 1 to 4 units. Not God, Jesus. 1 unit for every 4 grams of carbohydrates to try to avoid some of the low blood sugars. The only issue with that I've found is yes, it does prevent lows after mealtime, but at the same time, it's not as effective as a dose to actually keep my blood sugar down as best as humanly possible. Now we're hoping with the Omnipod that it'll keep my average glucose down better. It communicates with my Dexcom G7 to adjust it in real time, give me a small bit of insulin here, there, all that. An issue that I've kind of thought of is that it has a max capacity of 200 units, which would seem like a lot to some diabetics. But for me, like 3 days for only 200 units is not a lot. You know, I go through probably at least 20, 20 to 30 units per meal. And if I eat 3 or 4 times a day, that's a significant amount, you know. Um, Now, maybe with it auto adjusting, it'll use less, more efficiently. I'm not positive as of yet. We're going to have to find out. Um, I should probably get some posing in. Obviously, I'm shirtless. You can see I still got a lot of belly and all that, even at 194. But despite that, not too positive if I've made decent amount of gains or not. I have a little bit of like acne on the back. Now, I'm not blasting tests just yet, but you know, it is what it is. It's gonna have this mirror up to where I could see myself in that mirror behind you. where I could get an accurate assessment of the back. But I just don't think that's gonna really happen. You know. Now, I will say my forearm pumps as I've moved up in weight have gotten significantly better. But as you can tell, I still got a decent amount of love handle on me. I still have a decent layer on top of everything. I mean, there's a good amount of mass as far as your shoulders and arms. I don't train my biceps in isolation. I use them as secondaries for most of my workouts and such. Like mostly just my chest and back whenever I'm doing those. I have developed, as you can probably see, maybe a little bit of like actual stretch marks on the inner triceps through there, which is what it is. You know, we have okay trap development. Um, chest is still kind of lacking, not as much as I'd like it to be, but I had to decrease the volume on it a little bit there. I'm going to do as best of a negative as I can manage as far as my actual sucking goes for my belly. Try to get a good view on my obliques and abs. I don't train them in isolation either. Um, but, you know, I'm not really trying to get the waist any bigger than it is already. Although it would definitely help with the actual lines. I just don't want to do it. Don't worry about that. Um, it is what it is, you know. I mean, yeah, it's the body's looking all right, you know. Could look a whole lot better, and I understand that full and well. There's not really much we can do about it other than what we already are, you know. Um, I'm trying, you know, especially with the deload. Of course, I'm doing the cardio, so hoping that that could also be a big factor in the amount of weight that I'm losing. Um, I will say that my strength in my specific workouts, some of them are going up, some of them are staying the same. So at the very least, we're not losing a whole lot of muscle as far as the actual increase in calorie demand goes for the cardio. Because one of my main goals with doing so much cardio isn't necessarily just the calorie burn, it's more so the cardiovascular training involved with it. Um, because of course, I mean, as we've all pretty much understood at this point, um, most of your actual fat loss and all of that is going to bleed to ab development as far as your visual physique goes. Now, building the abs bigger, it'll make them shine through the layer of fat on top of them, etc. I have no clue what my body fat percentage is. I have no way of knowing that. I mean, we all know that the home scales aren't accurate. Mine says like 15.3%, and then my sub being like 12. I don't think that's the case for a second. Obviously, as you can tell, whole lot of chunk there. Um, my legs are somewhat lean. Obviously, I don't really show them. There's nothing to really show. They're normal legs, if not a little small. Um, but yeah, so we're not dropping in weight on any of the sets. We're increasing on some things. Um, we've started training legs again. Potentially getting a new job. Um, Haven't started any sort of cycles yet. To be determined later on, of course. Um, but as I'm sure that I've said in prior videos, we're trying to build a physique in which the body can support such a thing as well as humanly possible. And then we're going to find out how well the body uses them, how sensitive we are to them, and the negative side effects. But that is willfully down the road from where we are right now today. Um, I'm sure that many people share the same sentiment that, it's kind of necessary to have a physique that is even close to what is expected of young men, young women, young, right? Um, I'm mid 20s, so still somewhat young, um, still somewhat underdeveloped in the bodybuilding scene. Um, Once we've built a specific physique that we can then be like, okay, here's our baseline, then we'll start looking into those means to see where they bring us. Um, but it's definitely well fully down the road. Um, there's not really a whole lot else to talk about here. Um, my eating habits haven't really changed. Just eat a lot of meat and a lot of carbs. Um, that's just what I've always ate. It's what I prefer. I don't necessarily dislike fatty foods. It's just not really conducive to a great diet for the vast majority of the fatty foods out there. Typically come with a lot less positives than they do negatives. Um, Now, carbs can do the same thing if they're just high in sugar, high in fructose, all that. But also depends on your body's own ability to process it. As you know, type 1 diabetes, my body can't process any glucose without the assistance of external insulin. Um, so it is what it is. Um, Damn, really has been about 9 months, hasn't it? I'm gonna have to go back and look at prior videos and all of that to see, hopefully, get a visual sight picture of how the physique has changed. Um, it's kind of doubt that it has a whole lot. I haven't looked at the prior videos yet. I'm probably going to do that while I upload this one. Um, but for now, I don't know when my next upload will be. I don't know at what point in time we'll have seen a significant enough difference to actually warrant an upload and update video. Um, I know there's not really a whole lot of people watch these or anything like that. I think one of my videos was picked up by some weird algorithm stream and got seen by a few hundred people. That's pretty cool. But I don't think that I'm interesting enough, that my journey is unique enough, that my goals for doing all of this are appealing enough, right? So I understand that these aren't very conducive to a appealing video structure for people to watch in their free time. Um, Especially because I can't get the formatting down. That's a big factor, mind you. That is a huge factor in all of this. Um, yeah, it is what it is, though. Let me. This will either be the end of the video, or there will be a little section afterwards, depending on how this red light that I have in looks. I'm going to turn off the backlighting And then I'm going to just use the red LED that I have and see how that looks. It might look really good. It might show some good definition and all that. I'm not positive yet. We'll find out. Otherwise, if it is going to make it into the video, you guys will have a little more to look at. Check this out. So that's the red that I have. Yeah, it looks like it's just getting washed out a little bit. Now I can lower the brightness on it, I believe. Let's check this out. See if that helps the washout effect. It might. Let me check here. Ooh, keep zooming in a little bit. It's weird. Alright. Yeah, I think this remote's almost out of battery. There we go. Alright, that looks a little better. Now, don't get me wrong. It's definitely showing me in a better light than what is natural. Now, it is what it is, you know. Let's see, I'm going to do a back. I'm not sure how well it's going to come up in the actual video. However, just kind of want to see how it looks. We might do this for another video if it turns out well, you know. I obviously not very happy with the physique where it is right now. Have a lot of love handles, have a lot of extra on top of the abs, even if it's not very noticeable as far as the actual pole goes. I still notice it a heavy portion. We don't got, you know, heavy puff on the nips or anything like that, so that's doing okay. I'm thinking it was just the extra body weight that was causing that the last time around. Alright, well, let me just switch this. If it will switch, we're gonna find. Oh, fuck. I was looking right at the bulb. Alright, so that was the video. A little bit of chest flex. That's the video. Yay. Obviously, I don't sound too enthusiastic, which hoping you guys can understand, you know. Wish I would have had more progress to show you guys, or, you know, future me, for example. It's been a rough couple of months. I'm sure that anybody watching this probably can attest to that and agree. But it is what it is, you know. Life keeps going. There's not much we can do about that. No, is there? I still have the same like drive while I'm in the gym. Like, I want to look better, you know. And every single time that I'm in there, it's like my main thought process. I'm thinking about like how can we achieve something like that? You know, how can we achieve a bigger body without just excess fat, without all that? Because when I got up to 215, I was carrying a lot, and it wasn't really helping with like my strength in the movements. That's what really kind of appealed to me, that I don't need to be 215 where I'm at right now, you know. And as I moved down in weight and I was sitting at like 200, 205 consistently, that told me, okay, well, I'm not decreasing my weight on these workouts per rep. As far as tempo, etc. goes, I can still manage the weight with lower body weight, meaning that the extra body weight wasn't necessary. Um, we've been at this since 2023, May of 2023. So we're probably at a 2 year mark, give or take, at this point. Um, don't get me wrong, I started at like 170, 175, something like that, and we haven't made a whole lot of good progress. I mean, sure, we're up by maybe 20 pounds of overall mass. Um, it's just I don't necessarily see a good a good increase as far as that goes. Um, I mean, I've met people, and more people know me. Really, they just know I'm the dude that goes in for in 7 to 9 hours at a time. They're like, "Oh my god, what time did you get here?" As I'm like heading out, and I tell them, they're like, "There's no fucking way." And I'm like, "Yeah, yeah." Um, I mean, it's worked for me. You know, I've gained the weight, I've gained the strength. In that sense, it has worked. I haven't got burnt out as far as the gym goes. My job, 100%. I've been burnt out on that for a while now. Otherwise, um, still, I just love going to the gym, man. I just like if I could get paid to go to the gym and work out, I would be putting in overtime. I'd be there 6 days a week doing something. I don't care what. Like, and I wouldn't even have to make a lot of money. Just enough to survive, that'd be plenty, you know? Because working out is legitimately something that I enjoy that much, you know? The gym is a place that I find great enjoyment in. Just being there, just moving weight, just feeling the endorphins run through my body. That it's one of the few things in life that brings a genuine smile to the face, you know. And that's why I don't understand when people are in there and they're just like mad about it. They're like, God, I gotta be at the fucking gym again. And it's like, this is the sacred ground. This is the place that should be making you happy. You should be happy to be here, happy to do it, happy to have the physical capability. Despite all that the world brings, you are given the physical ability to go and work out, to put in the work and achieve something, you know. It's magical in my eyes, you know. It's something that I definitely embrace. I definitely enjoy it thoroughly, you know. Um I don't know. It's just when people hear 8 hours in a gym, they think, "Oh my god, how can you do that? How can one person possibly do that?" And I don't necessarily get it, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know. I think it's something that I thoroughly enjoy, and I would think other people would agree. I would think other people would be like, yeah, it's fucking amazing. It's something that I love doing. It's something that brings me joy in life. And I get that there's other things that people do with their life that brings them purpose, that brings them joy, that brings them a reason to wake up the next day and do it again. Um, for me, that's been the gym. You know, I don't know. Until next time, I suppose. Um, Anybody that is watching this, have a good day, week, month, whenever you see this. Obviously, we're in May now. It could be until August till I post again, depending on progress and depending on how I feel, how I want to have the setup, etc. Um, well, that's what I was talking about earlier. Crazy, isn't it? Yeah, I'll see you guys next time. You have a good one.